Hi guys, and welcome back to my channel, and welcome to, I've got a couple of new subscribers. Thank you thank you from the bottom of my heart for subscribing. Just makes me feel wanted, I guess. I am going to be doing this as a podcast type of voiceover. I don't think I've done a face-to-face video in a while. There's no real reason for that except for I don't feel like getting myself dolled up when I finally have time to do this. um, Yesterday I looked really good. I went up to see my family. I'm around adults so seldom because of my job, what I do. For those that don't know, I'm a child care provider, and I have my own in-home daycare for about 5.5 years now, and I go through periods of time. It can be weeks, it can be, excuse me, it can be 2 to 3 months at a time where the only adult interaction I get is dropping off, parents dropping and picking up, and that's just like a few seconds long. And so yesterday, well, this whole last week I was feeling, not with it. My muse, is gone. It's not with me right now. I can't seem to paint. I can't seem to play the piano. I can't just seem to do anything right now. I don't know if I'm in a funk. I'm not really sure. I know I have a lot of things right now that are up in the air. Well, not a lot of things, but my home situation, the dealing with my landlord is still kind of up in the air, and I'm a little upset. It's been like a week since I've heard from my lawyer, even though I've messaged them 3 times. Last message I got was just saying that they would get back to me. And in the meantime, I'm over here like, well, I need to know where I stand. You know, what's going on. So anyways, aside from that, I know that's part of it. I know that once that is all settled, I'll start feeling a lot better. But aside from that, I do go through this from time to time, and sometimes it's worse than others. I do suffer from depression, and sometimes it hits me worse than others, and when it does, it just zaps my creativity, and I can't, like, the painting that I was working on and uploaded here. It was supposed to be just the first part of it. I wasn't finished with that painting. I should have left well enough alone, because when I went back to try to work on it yesterday morning, I messed up. I get impatient sometimes, and so paint wasn't drying before I added new stuff, and then I noticed my paintbrush must have been too damp at one point, because I noticed some water that had dripped down my painting, and I was like, oh no. And trying to fix it, and I was just making it worse, and I just became so frustrated, not at the painting, but with myself, because I worked, a long time really hard on that painting, and I'm a beginner painter, so I've been painting for probably less than a year, and I've done some other paintings that I'm really happy with, but every once in a while there'll be this one that I literally get so frustrated with, I just throw them in the trash. And my niece, who is the inspiration really for my learning how to paint. She went to I can't think of the name of the school now, but it's a school for artists. And she was trying to encourage me, and she's like, "Nana, go get that painting out of the trash, and when I see you, I will help you with it." And so I went to get it. It had peanut butter on it, and I'm like, "Yeah, no, it's done. It's not meant to be." Um, let's see. The other thing that's got me really frustrated is that, well, I went to see my family yesterday, as I said, and I needed to go be around other adults, and it just so happened that my niece was there, and it was a very last minute, spontaneous thing, and my ex fiance went with me. Been friends since high school, but I went a little while without even speaking to him when I broke off our engagement, uh, because he had said something that really rubbed me the wrong way, and he actually made me angry. Well, he propositioned me, is what he did. He's like, "Well, can't we at least be friends with benefits," kind of thing. And I'm just like, just don't even talk to me. So I went a while with not even talking to him. And finally, he sent me what was the first real, sincere apology. And so I started talking to him again. And then, because we've been friends since high school, my sister knows him and all. So I was like, I'm going, it was a very last minute after I threw the painting away and everything. I was like, I need to be around other adults. Um, and so I asked him if he wanted to go. And it was very last minute, very spontaneous. And he said, "I'll be there in 5 minutes." I'm just like, okay. Um, so he went, and it was so uncomfortable because the whole way up, the whole time there, and I had a discussion with him on the way up. I said, "Just be my friend. Like, that's all I want from you. Just be my friend." He can't fucking do that. He on the I told him, don't be hitting on me and talking about a future with me and all of that stuff. Just be my friend. And he agreed to it, but the whole fucking time we're at my sister's. I mean, the entire time, guys. He's reaching for my hand, and he's making innuendos in front of my family, and my family knows that I'm not getting back with him. And he kept talking like futuristic stuff, and he was already like, "So we're gonna go have margaritas after this?" And I'm like, "No, I'm going home." And I'm in front of my family. I'm like, "What is wrong with you? Why do you continue doing this?" And he just gets this dumbfounded look on his face, like, "What am I doing?" and and then he was trying to make plans with me for today. He's like, "So you're gonna go to church with me tomorrow?" And finally, and then he wanted, then he's like, wanted to hang out with me today too. And finally, I just had to say, "Look, if you ask me to go to church with you one more time, I will never speak to you again." And it's not the church thing. I'm a Christian. It's not that. It's it's his motivation, the reason he wants me to go to church with him. It's just to spend time with me. There's a house next to my sister that's coming for rent. And she lives in a very posh neighborhood, gated community, and all of that on the lake. And the house next door to her is coming for rent, probably about $1,400 a month, right? I can't afford it. And I sat there and told him, I said, "Look, number one, I can't afford that rent." I said, "Number two, I don't have income up here. My job is, back home, here, where I'm recording this." Anyway, he's like, "Well, I have income," and I'm like, "Dude, stop." I was and am extremely frustrated, by him, with him. Um, it drives me up the wall. So, and on the way home, and my sister kept giving me this look because she knew I was mad. And so on the way home, he starts crying, and he's how much he loves me, and he puts his hand on my leg, and I hate when he touches me. That's one reason I broke things off with him. If I can't stand for him to touch me, we got no business getting married. So, as a friend, I love him to death, really. Um, but I can't fathom the thought of being with him. And he's a good-looking guy, he is. But it ain't about that. I don't feel a chemistry with him at all. And he would take, he's like, just so you know, I would have taken care of you. I would have loved you. I'm like, I have no doubt. But that's not who I am. I ain't trying to be with somebody just to make my life easier. That's not who I am. Um, and I warned him about getting with just anybody just to not be alone, you know, um, with anyone, not just me, with anybody that might just take advantage of him. But I don't think he even cares. He just doesn't want to be alone. And he's breaking down, crying, talking about he loves me. And I'm like, you don't love me. So I did that talk. I'm like, you don't love me. I'm like, the first time you said you loved me was over fucking Messenger. I'm like, I wanted to smack the shit out of you for that. He's like, but I did love you before that. I'm like, oh, you didn't say it, and you've never said it. You've known me since high school, and I've never heard those words out of you. And I told him, I know, I get that he's alone. I don't even really doubt that he believes the things he's saying. I want so bad. I feel like he's I don't want to put him in that narcissistic category because I know him, and so well. But I feel like he's, if not narcissistic, I feel like he's very desperate. Um, he doesn't want to be alone. He even told me in this same conversation where he's telling me he loves me, right? He said, "You're going to be disappointed in me." And I'm like, Why? What you do is of no consequence to me." He says, "Well, I started talking to my ex-wife." And I'm like, "Okay, y'all are friends. I don't care." And then I guess he thought he was going to get a reaction out of me. But he said she told him to leave her alone because, and get this, guys, he admitted to her and told me that he has been praying some kind of prayer over her that her new boyfriend would leave her. And I'm like, why would you do something like that? That is so mean. And it's so scary and it's so demented, you know. I'm like, you need to move on. He is just getting, I thought that we could spend the day together at my family's. Um, I gave him a shot at just trying to be friends, but he can't do it. And he can't fucking keep his hands off me when he's around me, and it just makes me want to throw up. It drains me mentally. Even just honestly, I have anxiety anyway, so going to my sister's yesterday drained me, not physically, but mentally, and that kind of wears me out physically. Like today, I haven't got out of my pajamas yet. Haven't done anything with my hair or my face, which is why I'm not on camera today. Well, during this video. So, yeah, he is. He's a piece of work, and he's not dangerous. He's just, I don't really know what the word is. Um, I just, I just know that he's desperate. He doesn't want to be alone. And you know, the thing of it is, if I wanted my life to be easy, if I wanted all the nightmare that I'm going through right now, the stress that I'm under to just be over, I would just marry him. But that's not who I am. I've spent 5.5 years becoming independent, taking care of myself, and I'm not going to do something that, one, I wouldn't be happy with, and two, I would not be able to respect myself for. Um, Speaking of respecting myself, um, shout out to Andrew. You know what you did, and like an ostrich, though, as much as it makes me want to bury my head in the sand, I appreciate you. Um, what you did was a very selfless act, and I appreciate you a lot. Um, I guess I'm going to wrap this up now. We don't need to, this is already too long. I just want to, fill you guys in on, my little life update, what I'm doing. So there will not be a part two to that painting because I threw it out. But when my muse returns, and it will eventually, I will do another painting. I need to get my camera to where I can set it up so that y'all can see the painting in better lighting and in a better position. Um, anyways, so I need to do all that. So when I feel my muse, maybe I'll do, maybe I'll work on my music some and step away from the painting for a little while. I don't know. We'll see. But when my muse returns, however it returns, y'all will be the first to know. God bless you guys and take care. Bye.